Good afternoon. Pastor Dwayne coming to you and sharing with you this afternoon. I want to talk to you about your prayers. Your prayers. You know, somebody said, I feel like my prayers just go out to the end of the table and fall off. Well, let me get news for you. The Bible doesn't say that at all. The Bible teaches that your prayers, the prayers of the saints, are stored up, and they'll be released at certain times and for certain reasons. In Revelation chapter 5, verse 8, and when he had taken the book, the four beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints. Then in the 8th chapter of Revelation, verse 3 and 4 says, And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given to him much incense, and that he should offer it with the prayers of all saints upon golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense which came from the prayers of the saints ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. The Lord helped me see this one time in a vision, and help me understand more about the prayers of the saints. I was praying, and I was concerned because my brother had been taken what I thought was premature in life. He had gotten out of prison, he had his act together, he was doing good, and then a trucking accident took his life. And I was very, very, in the beginning, upset at God. I said, in fact, I actually said to God, at that time I was in Point Hope, Alaska, and I said, that's real good, God. I'm up here, busting myself, giving everything I've got to be a missionary for you, and you kill my brother. And as sure as I'm speaking to you, and you're listening out there, he said this to me in such a strong voice that I would call it an audible voice, but I was the only one who heard it, of course. Mind your own business, I know what I'm doing. You see me, God talks like that? That's how he talks to me. And he'll talk to you however it will get your attention. And so I rested in that. I said, okay, I'm sorry. Years later, I was driving, and while I was driving, I had this vision. And he showed to me, he said, now then I'm going to show you what happened. He said, the prayers of your mother had come up to me, and they were stored up. And even though she had already was a part of the choir up here, and she had already left the planet, I had to answer her prayers. And I thought to myself, that's okay. Well, that's good so far. He said, because I knew your brother, and I created him, I knew everything about him, and I knew his future. I knew that he was at the peak of his life and his walk with me. And so in order to protect him, I brought him home in answer to your mother's prayers that had been stored up. Well, that done a couple of things for me. First of all, it caused me to realize how caring he is. How caring he is. And he knows my future. And therefore, he knew Larry's future. And so, because he cares so much, and Mom had prayed so much, he answered her prayers, even in that kind of an incident, to bring him home to be with him. And the other thing that I learned from that is, even though my father and mother are in eternity with you in heaven, wherever that is, I know that their prayers are being released from time to time, and I benefit from it. When all else fails, I know that there's an angel releasing some incense in the glory world that says these are the prayers of Earl and Johnny McKenzie, and they're being released. And I'm protected by it. I'm blessed from those prayers. He looks after, he knows my future. He knew that one day I was going to need a helpmate, and so he did. He knew that I needed a large family, so he did. He knew that even though I didn't know there was anything physically wrong, he did, but he brought me through it. And then, even in that, let me know, I've healed you. Don't worry about it. I'm taking care of you. Let me tell you something. Whoever you are that you might be watching today, I want you to know something. Anyone that's had prayers for you, they've been stored up. And if they haven't been answered, they will. They will, because he said so. These are the prayers of the saints being released to the Father, and they come forth to him as a wonderful smelling incense. So rest assured, you're in good hands when you're in his hands. Have a good afternoon.